Good evening, everyone online and everyone here in person to Degree Forward Celebration. We are actually celebrating what has been a little over a year since we officially launched this program. And most importantly, if you put your eyes on the screen over there and also in this corner right here, our first graduate, Talisha Brown. Right, and so this is really a pivotal moment for our organization. If you've attended any of our events, if you've heard myself or any of our team members speak at any point, we've talked about our reason for being here, which is success. We don't succeed unless you succeed. And so I'm Danielle North, I'm the founding executive director of Degree Forward, and we're passionately pursuing higher college completion rates for working professionals and adults. What's going on? Yeah. Just making sure I'm following the lead of my staff member back there. They keep us together. So sorry for that. But in any case, we're passionately pursuing. Who has crossed that finish line first, but we have other students who are proof points of that. We also have Kelly Blunden with us tonight, who's going to sit on a panel and talk about her success. We have Catherine Harris, who unfortunately is ill, but she's going to be our second graduate. She is just a competency or two away from completing her program as well. And so we're really, really honored to have a program that works for adults, and something that we can bring to the community. And so what we want to talk about tonight is really our success model, what we have put together, what we believe contributes to our success. So around the room you see some different boards that we've put up. We did a fair, we did a forum this past October, and then we also did a forum this spring. And so I established something that's called the College Completion Ecosystem Forum, where we bring together folks in and around Detroit who are focused on college completion. We're focused on adults. Some other organizations are focused on adults as well. Some others are focused on students who are coming traditionally out of high school. And so what we wanted to do was compile some best practices. We are a really small piece of the pie in comparison to some other larger organizations that are serving thousands and thousands of students. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but over the course of about 4 years, we'll have probably 500 students if we're continue to excel at a steady pace. So it's not like in 5 years we're going to have 10,000 students. This is going to remain kind of a grassroots, close-knit kind of program because of the level of support that we're providing, which you can't find other places. But we are hoping to use these best practices so that they can be used in other places. And so in my introduction today, I just want to talk a little bit about what it has meant for me to build this organization, to build it with partners who are part of Diploma Equity Project, which is a larger nonprofit organization that I'm a partner in, which we are bringing programs forward, like Degree Forward, into the state of Michigan. So with my partners here, partners out of state, our partners Southern New Hampshire University, because Degree Forward is not a college. You're going to get your degree from SNHU. And with my partners who are my staff and team members, Ebony Jennings and Dr. Henry. So they'll follow up with me in terms of what we've been doing that really, really works, and things that I've been doing over the years to build nonprofit organizations or community-based organizations. And so authentic community engagement is what has gone into this. Several of you in here have either been to an event previously in this space or in some of our other spaces across the community. This is us at a robotics fair at Detroit Hispanic Development Corporation, which they are a partner of ours. This is us at Eastside Community Network at an outdoor fair. We also held our College Completion Ecosystem Forum there. I go way back with them. I started out of college with them when they were Warren County Development Coalition, and I'm still connected to the original president and now the current president, because authentic community engagement is really important. We're just not popping up in the community and saying, hey, we got this shiny thing. We have real relationships, real people who believe in us and who we're partnering with across the city to bring this life-changing program. And so you have accessibility to real people. A lot of you have said it, and you'll probably hear our students talk about it, because we really like you to hear from them more than us. But we're celebrating 1 year, so we really want to highlight a few things. We're real people, and a lot of folks can't believe it when they come in and they're like, oh, you guys are real down to earth, you're supportive. I can actually call you and get the help that I need, as opposed to some automated hotline. And nothing against those systems, but that's not the system that we brought here. And we found that accessibility to real people has actually strengthened and led to the success of our program. Barrier mitigating support infrastructure. So whatever you need, for real, like whatever you need to be successful in the program, we provide it. Everything from people who have no familiarity with Microsoft Office Suite to folks who've not written papers or worked on projects. Dr. Henry, we can really, really thank and applaud for that barrier mitigating support that she's able to bring to the program. And constant commitment to college completion, which is why it's so important. We've been highlighting to Leach. I said, she's going to get tired of us. We got to put her on payroll. We got to put Kelly on payroll. We got to put Karan, Herbert, all of the students, because we push them out there. So when you see the videos, you see the news stories, you see our students. These are real people who are flourishing in the program. Come in contact with our program have said unparalleled customer service, personable shared experience, inspirational but also extensive and tangible, and strategic community-based partnerships. And so that unparalleled customer service, when we first started out, it was me you were getting on the horn, and I was calling people back and working to get everyone in here. And I said, I can't do that alone. And so I brought in Ebony Jennings, and so a lot of times when people come in here, just like when this young lady Crystal came in, I said, welcome, and Ebony said, Crystal Sims? Because it is a personalized approach, and a lot of people I know personally, so I'm looking when it comes to, I know Ramiro, I know Diane, and so it's a personalized, a feeling and approach, and we want to keep it that way as much as we can. Welcome, come on in, grab a seat, and get you some dinner. And so what I would like to do next then, as I've highlighted some of the key things I wanted to bring out, and you can go into this room as well after we go through our event and kind of see some of the other powerful highlights that we're uplifting. But some of the other key points are on this board right here in that room. And so we have a remarkable program. Something to talk about, and so they want to put you guys on the news. They want to put you guys in the paper, and we're going to keep elevating that. And we want to keep making it remarkable. So thank you guys for believing in us, When you have visions and you have dreams, and they come from your heart, and you actually are able to bring something to life, you can't bring it to life without people who actually believe in it. So thank you guys for making this real, for making our work tangible, and for helping us do what we said we were going to do, which was produce graduates. So welcome, and thank you for celebrating 1 year and our first graduate with us this evening. I'm going to call up our senior recruitment manager, Ebony Jennings.
Or at least I reached out if you've not gotten back to me yet. I am so excited to be here. Actually, Thursday is 1 year for me. This work brings me so much joy. It is the perfect, I would just say, like, this is the of all the years of all the things that I've done in community work, the different roles, like, this brings me the most joy because not only am I able to, lead, but I am not disconnected from the community. It brings me so much joy to talk with you all, to share with you all, and I'm just grateful. I thank you for, you all even allowing me to be a part of your process. Obviously, it's a part of our process anyway, but you didn't have to say yes. You didn't have to continue to go forward, and so I'm just excited to connect with you all even more. And just look on. I'm from Detroit. Detroit is my home, and that's another reason why this work brings me so much joy, to be able to actually talk to people and share my stories and be able to talk about the different sides of town, even though some of those from the west side, so I have a hard time talking about the west side because I'm from the east side. But I'm just really grateful to do this work. And one thing that I've said since I've started this work is that genuine relationships are the catalyst for building lasting connections and really strengthening community. And as Danielle said, we cannot do that without you. And so I'm just grateful again for this work. Just transparently, I went to Michigan State University, and no knock against MSU. I'm go green, go white all day. But I'm still to this day, I'm still paying for that. And so to be able to share with you all about a program that's real, where you do not have to go into debt, where you can finish your degree in half the time, or in Talicia's case, much less, much faster than most people. But seriously, and to finish a degree and to be able to walk through this. And so I thank you all again for allowing me to be a part of your journey in this. As Danielle said, y'all know, y'all can call me, y'all can text me, y'all can email me. Sometimes I have to tell you not to text me so early, but it's okay. But that's okay. But that just shows that we are real. We're not unavailable. You have access to us. And so just a couple things that I know Danielle mentioned, our secret sauce. And so for me, working in recruitment and enrollment, some of those things are authenticity. I know I've shared with those of you that I've talked, when you all share with me, I do my best to also share my own stories and my own experiences, the wins and some of the things that were struggles for me. And so that is really important to us, to make sure that we can be authentic. We are real people. To be transparent, that goes in that same vein. I'm honest about some of the things that I've experienced. I'm honest about, hey y'all, this program cost, the whole program, if you finish in 2.5 years, is less than my first year at my university when I went. Just being honest about those experiences, being able to be available. Again, obviously, after work, I do have things to do. I'm involved in many things in the community and at my church, but as much as I can be, I try to be available. I know, we're working adults, so sometimes you're not available during the working hours. And so just that availability, and again, having that access to us, that does bring me joy, and I think it's what makes this work. You don't have to worry about trying to, send an email or reach a chat box. You can get to us. And so to be encouraging, I hope that, those that I spoke with do feel that, because that really is my heart, to hear you all, share again your stories. I know sometimes there are doubts, and sometimes there are things that you may have experienced that may make you feel, is this real? Is this real? Is this something that I could really do? And so the opportunity to encourage people, that is something that we really do. And it's not just me. You're going to get it from Danielle. You're going to get it from Dr. Henry. You're going to get it from Mr. Wade, who is our other coach. And so you're going to get that no matter who you talk to in our team. That is one of the things that we are going to do. We don't ever want you to feel like you're in this alone. We are your team. We're going to support you as you move forward. And then also being involved and being kind. Sometimes you will encounter people, they don't, and that is my goal, seriously, to be kind. I know sometimes we can have a frustrating moment, we can have a frustrating day, but I think that kindness goes a long way. And then again, being involved. You're not just going to call us and reach out to us. We're going to be in the community. You're not just going to come here. We're going to go to the places and spaces where our students are. We're going to look for people who this may be a right fit for. So, just the opportunity to do those things, I think that's what sets us apart from different different programs where you may just enroll and you've got to go through the process, we will give you one-on-one support. If you need help with your FAFSA, give me a call. If you need help with your application, seriously, any part of the process, we do not leave you alone. And once you're done with me, you transfer over to your coach and that same level of support. And so we really are involved. We care about you. If we see that you're not, progressing in a certain way, or maybe some items are missing in your application process, you will hear from me, as many of you all know. So, we will not leave you alone, because we are, invested in. It's not just about getting other students in the program. We really are invested. All of us are from Detroit. It really is important to us to see more Detroiters, more Michiganders have their degrees and reach these goals. We all have, I don't know if Danielle mentioned this, but family members, friends in this program. And so it energizes us to do this work. And so, again, I'm grateful to be in this role. I tell Danielle all the time, I think this role was made for me. Well, I think it was. It was made for me. It was made for me. It literally was made for me. And so even that, being grateful that, in supporting you and being able to support you all, it also allowed me to fulfill and to live out a dream of my own. So thank you all. And those who I had to talk to, I look forward to it.
Well, I should give her the introduction that I gave.
Okay. Trying to keep us on track for time, but yes. So next up, we're going to bring up Dr. Raylyn Henry, who is our Director of Degree Attainment. And this woman, as I mentioned already here a little bit with our success model, really provides that barrier mitigating support. And this woman has a patience as Job. I say this all the time. She is truly a saint.
The qualities that I might not have, she has.
Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, if I was your coach, no. I'll be like, now come on now. But Dr. Henry, no, seriously, talking about roles that were fit for an individual, she truly has not only the skill set, the education, but also the heart and the passion for the work and what's required for us to operate at this level. So bring up Dr. Raylyn Henry.
Hello, everyone. As Danielle said, I am the Director of Degree Attainment, but most importantly, I am the academic coach for our students. We do have another coach, but I was the original coach. Right. So kind of paved the way. And so one of the things about this position, I talked about it all the time with Danielle. Like when I first got here, it was like, okay, I start looking up what is an academic advisor, what is a coach, and it was just not really a good answer that I was like, this really fits me. And so we talked and we kind of just tailored this position and tailored like what we were really going to offer our students. And so I'm really excited to be a part of something that was new and fresh, and you can bring your ideas to the table. And so I'm the academic coach. And the very first thing that I do is have a one-on-one meeting with all of the students. And I am trying to build relationships with them, kind of see where they are, see where their skill set is. Like she mentioned, there might be some students who are not really proficient in Microsoft. So we have to go through, like, do you know how to upload your project to Brightspace? Do you know how to attach it? Like, things like that. And so just really finding out where they are, meeting them where they are, and then assisting them so that they can be successful. A lot of what I do is just strategies of how to be successful. And I always say it's like a testament for me because I am, one of 14 children. I'm the only one who has my degree. And I didn't just start with my bachelor's. I wanted to keep going. And so I said the sky was the limit. So if I could do it, you can do it too. So I'm sharing those strategies that put me where I am. So if I can do it, again, you can do it too. So a lot of what we talk about in our coaching sessions is to kind of get you to where your projects need to be. So it's called mastery. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's called mastery level. So you're bringing your prior knowledge to the table. So it's all project-based learning. You're bringing your prior knowledge to the table, and from there, your reviewer will kind of give you some guidance and say, okay, well, that's a good start, but you need to add on to it. And so I'm there to support. As soon as you see that not yet, it is not a failure. It is not anything like that.
That's
It
right.
just means that you have a little bit more work to do. And so your coaching sessions with me are at your own time, your own pace. My calendar is open. Like Ebony says, we're available. If that time spot is open on my calendar, it's yours. I'm not going to put anything else in front of that time because my goal is to make sure that you are successful. And so I have those one-on-one sessions to get to know you, to build those relationships, and we're talking about what does it take to be a successful student. So we're going to talk a little bit about time management. Like, are you really putting forth the time and the effort in this program? Like, it takes work. It takes time for you to be successful. So we're talking about time management. We're just talking about goal setting. And so we're going to set that goal. So we're going to have our meetings. How many projects do you want to complete or master this particular term? So we'll have that conversation, and I'm going to hold you accountable, okay? I'm just going to be honest. Like,
Now,
I'm
she
going to be
nice,
on.
but she tough.
Yeah. Nah, I'm going to be patient. We're going to work together, but I'm going to hold you accountable. If that's the goal that you set, we're going to make sure that we make it happen. And for me, it's just really just supporting my students. I'm like she said, I'm very passionate about this. I've been in education for over 15 years, and it's just something I'm passionate about. And so my job is to make sure that you guys are successful. So if you are thinking about coming, then yes, join. If you're already in the program, I see a couple of students out there. You already know I'm here to support you. Whatever it is, you can always count on me. Oh, yeah.
Are and what you bring to the program, and you bring yourself. That's also something that's key to the program, which I didn't bring that other board because I have a couple of other boards that get a little more into the weeds, but a high standard of employment practices is what's important to me. So as the person who started this organization, I want my employees to feel uplifted. I want them to be paid well. I want them to be in a space where they can be themselves and bring their full selves to the table. And so that contributes to the success as well. And so I've jokingly told you guys before as well, they don't get bonuses to sign you guys up. This is not oh yeah, come on. They're not hustling because they're getting extra for doing it. They're hustling because they believe in it, and it's the work that they want to do. And so now we've talked a lot. It's time to hear from the students. So you may have seen this student on the news with Devin Skillion. She is not a paid actor. She is a real student. So we're going to bring Kelly Blunden up here, one of our top performing students. Yeah! All right, everybody. This is Mrs. Kelly Blunden, who actually should be on payroll. Kelly has been on the news. She's been to one of our CCEF, help me, Lord, programs and spoke. And she's always ready and available. She's done some videos for us, which you may have seen on social media, which was just like, hey, tell us how the program has been going. She recorded it, and then our marketing team was able to put together kind of some videos based on that. And so I just want to thank you so much for not only believing and working through the program, because some people don't want to be bothered, and that's their choice, that's fine, but also being willing and available because you have a lot on your plate. You have a busy, busy life. So just tell us a little bit about your life and about Degree Forward and how that has fit into everything for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Is she good? Does she need a mic? She doesn't have a mic.
Talk to you, you're fine.
Perfect.
Really loud.
All right,
I have a mom voice.
we're making it work. Okay, he said we're projecting good. Yeah, go for it, project.
All right. So as Danielle said, I do have a pretty full life. I am a full-time working mother. I have 2 small children still at home, 4 adult kids as well. My youngest son plays travel soccer, so if we're not working, then we're busy doing soccer stuff. Our daughter is in robotics, and so, again, work or kids. But then I've always had a goal and a desire to obtain my bachelor's degree. It was a college dropout. I didn't go right after high school. I started in my mid-30s pursuing a culinary degree. Started working in the industry for well over 10 years, managing multiple kitchens, but still didn't have that degree. As she said, I was on the news. It all started when I saw them on
The news the first time
the
with
first
Devin.
time
Yeah.
around, Christmas time, I think, last year, and I had all the thoughts that were discussed here. This is not real. This is a scam. This is whatever. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to submit. And sure enough, Ebony was on the phone, hounding me, relentless. And so I decided to try it out because what did I have to lose? That's ultimately what it came down to, was even if it didn't pan out to be what I thought it was going to be, what did I have to lose? So then enters Dr. Henry. I start doing my first project. She does have she's just one of the most patient, wonderful people. Caring, nurturing. She, battled down every objection that I had, every argument that I had as to why this was a bunk and whatnot. And she just kept pressing. She kept pressing and really reminding me of what my ultimate goal was. And I've been successful. They talk about believing in us and this program. It's like you guys believing in me and wanting to see me. I know that that's authentic, and that in itself continues to spur me on when I'm having moments of doubt, or this past summer trying to balance school load with the goals that I set, plus family life and everything. Dr. Henry, she kept me accountable. We adjusted the goal to make it more manageable. But she really, it was a relentless, just care. That really kept me on task. So I have no problem speaking about it for any given time, because it's amazing. It's truly, truly an amazing program.
Thank you, Kelly. We appreciate you so much, and thank you for speaking from your heart and elevating your story. So you started with us in what term?
February this year.
Yep. You started in the February term, and you've continued to re-enroll. And how many projects have you completed?
So I think the count should be 30 or 32.
32.
32
Yes.
projects.
See, her coach knows.
So
So give it up to Kelly. The last time we printed this board, it was less than that, and so she's still moving forward. And so congratulations on all of your success. So if you don't know how the program works, one project is equivalent to one credit, which would be similar to the traditional school model, but it's still the same distance to a degree. So 60 projects is an AAA, similar to 60 credits is an AA, and 120 projects is a BA, similar to 120 credits is a BA in a traditional model. And so I have Dr. Henry up here because you're one of the students who does actually utilize the coaching, even though you're independent as well. So talk about that, how that works, and what different ways you go about getting coaching from Dr. Henry.
So when we first started doing the coaching, I was really trying to understand what you provided, and then taking a step back and seeing what I needed. I am a fairly independent learner, but there have been times where some of the projects what they're ultimately looking for doesn't quite make sense to me. So sometimes I get coaching tips ahead of starting the actual project in itself. More often than not, I can start the project on my own, submit it, and then after I get it reviewed, then Dr. Henry and I meet to go over what it is that they're looking for and going through the project. One thing I will say is Dr. Henry has stressed since the time I started was submit the project, get it, and think of it really as a first draft state. And I really struggled with that, a lot, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And I hated the idea of submitting something that wasn't perfect. But she just, every time we meet, she keeps telling me that over. So I've taken those pro tips and applied them. But yeah, so that's ultimately what we do, is really going over what the reviewer is looking for after first submission. But she is available 100% of the time. I text, I don't need to meet this week, or hey, can we move the schedule because I have a work meeting or whatever. And she's so insanely flexible with her schedule and accommodating to me. and I never feel like it's a burden, like I miss our coaching time, and I have missed our coaching time sometimes.
So Dr. Henry, can you talk about that in terms of the flexibility that you provide? Because sometimes you guys meet in person, sometimes you're online.
Right.
Yeah, can you talk about that?
Sure. So with all the students, we make sure that they know that they can come in person if they need to here at this facility, or we can meet virtually. When we first started, we were meeting every week. Like, we just put it on our calendar, like, nope, every Thursday at 1 o'clock, that's just going to be our set time. And we were, consistent. Like she said, a few times we didn't meet. But then as we got further in the term, I think it's still on the calendar, but we kept it there. But like she said, she'll just kind of say, oh, no, I'm good this week. But for me, it was more so making sure that she knew that if she needed help, like, when you get that feedback, sometimes it can be discouraging. And you're just like, what do you mean? I put all this effort into it. Like, what do you mean it's not mastered? What are you talking about? And so it's just really.
I am a master.
Yeah. And so it's just that assurance that, no, you're good. And so the times that we have met in person were the math projects. Like, there are a few math projects, but they're spreadsheets. And so we kind of had to do that in person. Like, we were like, no, that's not a virtual meeting. Like, come in. And so we kind of worked through them together step by step, and then they were mastered. And so, yeah, it's really great just to kind of know that I'm available, but, I'm flexible. So if you have to cancel, that's fine. I can redeem my own time and do something else with that time. So, yeah, it's a great, I give those options. But I prefer the weekly, but as needed, you can just come to my calendar and schedule something. Yeah.
Kelly, what has been the biggest challenge for you with this program?
I think the biggest challenge really has been protective of my time and making sure that I'm putting forth the effort there. It's not that the desire isn't there, it's just life will get a little bit crazy, and then I become less protective of the time that I've set aside. So every couple weeks I usually have to recalibrate and okay, this is back to my time, and then I tell everybody, no, I'm not available for anything.
Yeah, and Dr. Henry, that's fine when students recalibrate, right? Because
Yes.
Kelly had a daughter who got married this summer, and so can you talk about how that worked with you in terms of recalibrating with her?
Yeah, definitely. So we set out our goal, our stretch goal for all of our students is 12 every term. But Kelly, she was like, no, I'm doing more than that. Like, we're going to do 15, we're going to do 20. And we're like, sure, okay. So we wrote it down, like, that's our goal. And then once things started getting really tight with the wedding, it was like, I don't think I'm going to make, I don't think we're going to get to this 20. So we were like, okay, well, 12 is our stretch goal. Like, do you want to just go with the 12? No, let's do 15. And so we were like, okay, we started working on that. And I think we got 14 that time, or 12. I can't remember if it was.
I think actually the first time that we
No, not the first time. With the daughter. Yeah.
She's not, go ahead, tell her.
First time she got 18. Yeah.
Okay, talk about it, girl.
Yeah.
Oh, but the summer we did recalibrate.
Yes. First time she got 18, and the next time we got 12. And so we're kind of still on pace, still.
And that's not
doing good.
failure.
Yeah, that's not at all.
Sometimes you might do more,
Yeah.
sometimes you
Yeah.
might do less, sometimes it may be less than 12.
Yeah.
But the thing is to keep going and to reset and to not go MIA or disappear on
Yeah.
us. Just tell us, what's going on or what you need, and we can recalibrate. So I want to open up the floor, because if you guys have questions, we can ask Kelly a few questions, and then we're going to hear from Felicia. So does anyone have any questions for Kelly? Sure.
Well, first of all, my name is Kiera Stewart. I'm a first-time student, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited and anxious for my success. And I also want to congratulate you for your success and your progress. I gotta read off my papers while I'm reading. I'm nervous. Okay, so I wanted to ask you a question. Like, when you first submitted your first assignment, did you find it challenging? And then also, how many times did you have to resubmit before it was actually accepted or mastered? Yes.
Yeah. So the first project I submitted,
I think it took 2, maybe 3 times before it was actually mastered. And I think that when I first met with Dr. Henry, that's when I came, for lack of a better word, I was ready to fight with her. Like, this is not a bad access. I was very angry and frustrated, can't be the perfectionist that I am. And she talked me down, and she was very kind, but really went through the process of like what they're looking for, identifying, very specific things within the rubric to help you. And so from that point, I became much more proficient in understanding what they were looking for. But that first project probably took about 3 times before I mastered it. But again, she continued to remind me that it wasn't failure. It was just they're looking for certain things to competency. So, but yeah.
And then
And then it was exciting. It was really exciting when I got it mastered.
And which is because there's no failure. You can't fail in this program. So in other programs, when you don't meet the mark, it's an F or whatever, and it's like better luck next time, or D, C, whatever you get is what you get. With this, you get to keep trying until it's mastered, and mastery is essentially an A.
Okay, one more.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so, what would you say that, sorry, you guys.
That's okay. I do
What would
too.
you say the whole process is very challenging? And was it worth the process? So, I know you're not completely finished per se. So, do you feel that the projects that you have made thus far is worth going forward?
100%.
Okay.
100% worth it. I know that each time I master a project, I'm one step closer in obtaining my degree and fulfilling a goal and frankly a dream that I've had. When I did one of the videos, the interviewer was asking me, picturing what does it think about, graduation and all that stuff, and I'm also an emotional person. I legit started crying right then because I could picture myself finally earning the degree and having just that pride in myself, something that has lacked. So every project gets me one step closer, and I am equally as satisfied as I was after the first project was mastered.
Okay, with that being said, I want to congratulate you again. Continue your process. And thank you for motivating me to move forward in this journey.
Okay, we can take one more question. All right,
I was going to ask, so from the time you started to now that you're further in, do you find it easier when it comes to, because those classes kicked my butt when I first started.
Yeah.
And I was extremely frustrated.
Yeah.
Does that get easier as you go, as far as the understanding and the processing of the actual course?
Yes, I think it does get easier in the understanding, just the flow of everything.
Yeah.
The projects are getting more challenging as I'm going on, which makes
The
sense,
rigor.
of course.
Right.
Yeah.
But the process is still easy. The flow is still the same and everything. But again, going back to, I'm now having to be even more protective of my time. Whereas those first 100 level classes, they were a lot easier in that sense. But now getting further along, I just have to a little more protective of my time, but the process stays the same. And
We're always trying to get there.
Yeah, that's why we got the real life inspirations here. So give it up for Kelly again. Thank you. And give it up for Dr. Henry. Dr. Henry, you can take that chair too. Thank you. And now we are going to, I'm going to stand up again because, and let's switch her up. Let's mic her up if we can. I'm going to call up. This has just been really tremendous. I'm even surprised myself right now with some of the things that, and this is, we have to tell people that this is not a Christian-based program. It's not a spiritual program. It's a secular program. Anybody from anywhere can come into the program, but my faith is what drives me behind anything I do. And so,
Just keep it in my ear.
this is life-changing. This is miraculous. And anything that I do, I put my faith and trust in God. And so to see people come in and stay in my dreams, and to see this woman past October, y'all. She completed 60 projects. 50 in the May term. 50 in the May term. 10 in the October term. This beautiful black sister right here came in and blew this program out of the water. So I want her to come up here. And I don't know these people from Adam. We become friends. There's people in here who I know. I done known a lot of y'all my whole life almost. But Kelly, I never knew until she came into this program. Herbert, I never knew. And Talisha, I never knew. And I'm just so honored to have, crossed paths with you, for you to have crossed paths with this program. Everybody give a standing ovation to the first graduate of Degree Forward, Talisha Brown.
Thank you.
Take your bow, man. Don't be acting all modest now after you done blew these projects out the water.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
I did.
So I'm appreciative of you. Thank you for making this real.
Oh, no, thank you, because I didn't think it was real. I actually was scrolling down Facebook, and I saw it, and this is here in Michigan? Oh, I'm going to try it. I'm going to put my information in. Next morning, Ebony. She called me, and I was like, okay, and we talked about financial aid, and I was like, okay, this really is real. Then she says, well, you want to start the next term? I'm like, yeah. So now we're doing orientation. I'm like, oh, this is really real. So then Dr. Henry, she says, well, schedule this meeting with me. And I'm like, oh, this is real. What did I get myself into? And she says, well, you're going to go and you're able to look at the projects and see. I looked at them. I said, oh, no, I don't think I can do this. That's a lot. It was a lot. So the first time I turned one in, I think I had to do it maybe 3 times. And then we had to do another one where it was leadership and you had to talk about yourself. I was like, oh, I don't need to cite anything. I'll just, And they sent it back, was like, no, we need you to cite some things, We appreciate you wanting to just put it all about you. So I was like, okay, so now I know I need to cite. Okay, that's one thing. And then I would just take my notes. I knew from the start of the program that I had to be consistent and dedicated, for one, because of the work. You may hear, oh, she did it in one term, but it was a lot of work.
Yes, it was.
It was. I'm a school nurse, so I have a lot of little downtime from time to time, and I have my laptop. So I would do a lot of my reading and researching during my downtime. Over the summer, we get those months off. So I made this my job.
Yes, you did.
I got up at 6 a.m. And I would be on the computer till sometimes midnight. And, I have a 17-year-old son, so, his older siblings, they would, if he needed anything, they know I'm at the computer and I got a goal that I'm trying to reach. I know they got tired of me. I would call them and say, I mastered 3 today. They probably don't understand but I was so excited about that. It got to the point to where they started calling me and going, how many did you master? I'm like, this week I'm going to master 10. And they're like, oh, you are? I'm like, yes, I am. So I got overwhelmed sometimes, but I would just reset. I'd take a day, reset. A month into the program, my nephew got killed. I went from studying all day to planning a funeral, so I took a week off. But then I said, I want to do this for him. I'm just going to finish this. And
That's beautiful.
And if I could have gotten the other 10, I probably would have tried to do it before. And Dr. Henry says, no, wait until next term.
Just wait.
I just wanted to finish, I wanted to prove to my daughters, that you can do it.
That's right.
And I wanted them to see their mom succeed.
Yes.
So.
Thank you, Talisha, for sharing, because there's a personal and intimate piece to this. We're talking about a professional goal, but also how it really loops into your personal life. And you have a great success story even with how you obtain your AA. So Talisha already has her AA, and she's an LPN, so she's a school nurse. So now, this is the BA that she has completed in healthcare management.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about what that AA process was. When
I
you
had
went in
started
with your
years
daughter.
ago.
Yeah.
My daughter came home from Tennessee State wanting to she was homesick. She wanted to just come home and go to WC3. We went to enroll her. After enrolling her, the counselor asked me, well, Mom, what about you? You thinking about school? And I told her, well, I was going to school, but family life and doing other things, I just didn't finish. She actually pulled my credits up and was like, well, you know, you're like a couple semesters from graduating. I enrolled too. So then I told my daughter, we're going to school together. I'm going to be on the dean's list. And she's looking at me like, and you know, I was so into it. I was on the dean's list. So I went, looked for my number, my name. I'm like, take my picture.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I graduated.
Yes.
I said, oh, wow, I want to go further.
Yes.
I want to be a nurse. So I took the HESI, but the math part kind of got me down. I got discouraged.
Because you were on an RN track previously.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I can take this slow. I can. I'll go LPN. So the following year, I enrolled in LPN school and completed that the following year.
Yes.
I wanted to continue, maybe do LPN, RN, financial aid. You know, the other two schoolings that I was doing, the LPN, the financial aid was this thin.
Yeah, they wiped you out.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wow. So what caught my eye was the price. I was like, I think I got a little bit more financial aid left for that. I think I can do that. But I don't have enough to just keep going. I need to finish this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was another motivating factor, and Talisha is not the only student like that who has come through and they're like, well, I've got a little bit more financial aid, or I've exhausted all my financial aid already. These are inequities in the higher education system that exist that a lot of our students are struggling through, which is why this model is so important. It's not just at a lower price because it's not a rigorous program or because it's not a real degree. These are real degrees. This is Southern New Hampshire University, the same commercials that you see on your TV. This is that college. We are their local partner. And so it's because we are trying to combat those things that people are up against. So that's a perfect scenario where she's like, man, I don't have that much financial aid, which in this country, they shouldn't allow you to keep on being able to draw down that financial aid and still not have a degree.
Exactly.
We got people who come in saying they've got 100 credits or 50 credits and they don't even have an AA. And we have to have tough conversations about what that means. And yes, credits do roll over into this program. In fact, a significant amount. Catherine Harris, who couldn't join us virtually tonight, who's going to be our second graduate, she had roughly 30 credits that transfer in. So she is completing 30, and now she's going to have her AA. So that's just a powerful, again, testament as to why this worked for you. When we had you speak to the group when we were out in Newark for our summit a couple of weeks ago, you spoke to something that I don't even think you knew how life-changing it was going to be to the room, but you were asked about your process in terms of what worked for you. And I'll ask you this and then I'll open it up to the room. Tell us about that process that you deploy with the rubric that really led to your success with getting the projects done.
I put them in a question. So the rubric, you know, I made it a question for myself to answer. So I know if I answer these questions, I'll have everything that they're looking for.
And that strategy blew our minds because that's not this isn't a new program. The program already exists all across the nation. There are programs like Degree Forward in Boston, in Denver, in Austin, in San Francisco that already exist. And so we have best practices already, and then we create our own. But when she said that to a room of us who have programs already, one in Newark, one in Camden, we hadn't heard anyone say that. And it's just something as simple and powerful as that, where it took the student, right? Because we don't profess to know everything, to use that. So now we're looking at how we can systematize that with other students and across the network for success. And she just said, let me see how this works. And so how did that work for you for the last 10 that you submitted?
Well, like Kelly was saying, I'm kind of a perfectionist. So I never liked getting my papers sent back. So I'm like, I'm going to make this the best it is so they can read it and go, she's got something there. I just don't want to do this again, you know. Even though I've had some papers where I had to turn some in a couple times to where I got frustrated. I called my mom. I was like, hey, I don't think they want me to pass this one. You know, I'm like, what's going on, you know? I would call my friend and go, okay, now I've turned this in twice now, you know, but.
We've had students that have turned in things 8 times. I'm going to tell y'all. Talisha is a really exemplar, okay? She's really exemplar, but sometimes it takes several times.
I know.
But go ahead, tell us what happened. Come on,
And
you're
so,
trying to be around it.
and so Dr. Henry, she says, well, you're going to have an opportunity to go over some things before you can submit. I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'm going to submit all 10. I know she said submit only 5, but I know I got it. I know it. So when the start of the term, I turned in all 10 and mastered all 10.
Wow.
And one try. Now y'all give it up. Now, the reason why I had more than one example of a student tonight is because, again, Talisha is an exemplar. That it's not going to go like that for everyone, okay? And so that's her story, that's her success, that's how it worked for her. We have other high-flying students like Kelly and the others who are on this board who might need more coaching or who is taking them more time, or they've gotten to that in multiple terms. So we're never presenting something like, oh, it's just this easy. Come in, you're going to get 10, and they're all going to get approved in one time.
Well, it wasn't easy.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy, and so
No.
her situation was also very different, right? We've had people tell us, oh, I'm going to be off, and so I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to do it. We've heard people say that, but she really did that. She used that extra time that she had. She had the lifestyle where she could do that. So this is not a compare and despair, okay? I want everyone to understand that. We don't want anyone to compare and despair. Oh, I'm not doing what Kelly's doing. Oh, I'm not doing. We have other successes where people are completing 5 projects in a term. That is success.
That is.
Okay, you know why? Because that's still 2 classes like what you would do in a normal school setting, okay? So this is based on your pace and what works for you. But Talisha is an exemplar, and she sat there, she took her time, she worked really hard at this.
12 hours
and
a day.
At 12 hours a day. So if you add up that time, if you had 12 hours a day, how many months would it take you to achieve the same thing? So it's not like she did it overnight. And so we want to celebrate her again, and I want to open up the floor for any questions for our first graduate. All right, got her. Kelly's back there shaking her head.
I just wanted to say, it's not a question, but
Or a
I
comment,
just
yeah.
want to say that as a former/current student, I need to hear stories like that, because that makes it real for me. You know what I mean? Because initially I'm like, I'm going to do everything no one else did, until you do it and realize it's close to impossible or feels impossible.
Yeah.
So to have someone sit in front of me that knows exactly how tough it can be,
Yes.
where to go, how to do, and see that you've done that. It just makes me feel that that's something that I can complete.
Exactly.
Because
You
every now
can.
and then you don't feel that.
That's right.
So I appreciate you and the graduates.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sierra. She's got her notebook. She's ready with her notebook.
Right. First of all, I want to congratulate you for everything,
Thank you.
for the motivation that you sent to all of us. And I just want to ask you a quick question. I'm going to keep it simple this time. Okay. So how did you, with you being a perfectionist that you are, how did you find the strength to move forward with being not so much of being rejected, but turned down with the like you didn't master this. You didn't master this. to keep going forward with you working your job and still having kids?
Well, at the time, I was off for the summer, so I wasn't working. And so when they would send it to me, sometimes they would respond to me the same day. I would wait 2 or 3 days because that's the norm. But some would respond right then, and I would still be at the computer. Oh, so you need that? So I would stop working on that and start back to work on that one to give them what they're looking for. It was kind of like a competition. It was kind of like a game for me. It really was, because I was checking that email every day to make sure someone sent me something back. And I would wake up out of my sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning and go, yes, I mastered.
Wow.
Okay, in the morning. So now I'm laying there woke like, okay, in the morning, now I get to do this one. And then I had my little scratch off sheet. So whenever I would master one, I'd check it off. And then I had my little notes. Okay, I'm going to do 2 today and 2 tomorrow. That's going to be 10. I need to call Dr. Henry. I need to tell him, and that's just how I was doing it,
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love how you said it was like a competition. I mean, she's really giving solid nuggets. If you really think about your personality and how you operate, how you succeed, these are nuggets. Like, look at the reviewers as a competitor. Like, I'm going to beat them. Or, look at it like a job or a second job.
Yeah, and then they would respond to me. And then some would even, put little cute things in there and be like, I'm giving you a hint. And I was like, what are you saying, though? So it was just, I value the feedback that they sent back, I didn't like getting it, but when they did give it to me, I knew when I turned it back in, it was done. Yeah, you wouldn't send it back.
And they're not your enemy.
No.
It's a rigorous program, so
they always
have to, have some standards or what you need to, submit in order to
And I
succeed.
understood that.
Yeah.
I understood that. But I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have to do it as much.
Sure. No, this is the last question for her. It's okay.
Did you feel that, the feedback that you were getting was like, come on now, or I'm just being real
Maybe
now?
a couple times, but
Right, I had this, you know what I'm saying?
I thought I had it, but them being the professors, they know what they're looking for. So yeah, I just had to give them what they wanted. I mean, You're
And
welcome.
it is like that sometimes. I understand where you're coming from because students do experience that. Are they nitpicking or whatever? But the
Of
rubric
course.
and the checklist are all transparent. It tells you exactly what they're looking for.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to be honest again, and Dr. Henry I'll let her chime in on this. Sometimes the review does vary, right?
Yes, it does. There are multiple reviewers. It's not just, one person, it's multiple ones, and they each have their own way of, grading. And so I might have coached someone on the same project and they had a different reviewer, and I'm like, okay, well, you need to do this, this, and this. And then the other reviewer is like, no, I want this. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So it is, they're individuals and they're grading in their own way. So you just have to pay attention to what they're asking for and just give them exactly what they want. So,
Exactly.
And that
Yep.
would make you be
Because there were
like Talisha.
certain reviewers, I would say, oh, I know I knew
knew
what
what
that
she was
reviewer wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of more questions.
They
They said, let me talk to you. A couple of more questions if there are any, or comments. Sure. Omari right here first. Oh, no, okay, he's still on up.
Thank you.
I do have a question. Degree 4 speaks of projects and mastering projects. Now, the Degree 4 also teach you how to master those projects. I'm used to traditional online course when you get a math project from your instructor, you get grade A, B, C. Okay, turn that in. But you speak of projects and mastering, so do the Degree 4 teach you how to master these projects before you even start doing the projects.
Yeah, so I'll chime in first, and then I'll let Dr. Henry add. So when Talisha was saying, oh, this is real, we had orientation, or however, immediately before the term even starts, I have an orientation that I lead that is,
it's like the week before the term starts. And so prior to that, in your one-on-ones or calls with Ebony, we're explaining to you as you go. We're not hiding anything, and we're also beginning to teach you about what the program is. Honestly, most students don't really get it until they really do their first project. But going along the way, we're telling you how the program works. We open up the system and we show you during orientation, this is Brightspace. When you go in, this is what the project will look like. They will have deliverables. This is what they're asking for. This is how you submit in the system. Here are some resources that you can utilize. And so all of those things are there. Here's the checklist that they're asking for. Here's the scenario. Here are the instructions. And here's the rubric. So in this program, in terms of teaching you how to master, there's more that goes into it as opposed to just here is the actual project. Now, I'll let Dr. Henry get into that in terms of the teaching or the coaching aspect of this is how you do the project.
Right. So within your first week, we have info sessions, and the info session is we're literally walking through the project. And so if you want to say it's teaching, it's like teaching you exactly step by step. This is what the deliverable is. This is what the objective is. And we're working on it together as a group. And you're literally working on the project with the entire group. And so you submit it, and then you get your feedback, and then we kind of go over that. I send out coaching tips every week for a brand new project, and those coaching tips are step by step, outlining this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, this is what the rubric says. And so if you follow that, then it will help you master your projects a little bit faster than if you just kind of doing it on your own. So it's really crucial that you use your coaching tips from me. Not saying you have to, do it every week. Like Talisha, I think we met her whole time, I think maybe four times. She was on it, like, she got it. Like, once we went over it, like, she really knew exactly what they were looking for, then she got it. So for me, it's more like, if you don't understand it, let's talk about it, let's break it down, and then that's the teaching part. So now you can go back, make those changes, and submit it.
Yes.
The actual rubric meaning is?
It's really just a scorecard.
Yeah.
A rubric is a scorecard that tells you this is, for this section, this is what we're looking for. Yeah. Check your work and make sure you have these 3 things within this section. So, and within the deliverable, because they provide the documents that you need, it'll be this section wants 300 words. If you do 250, that's not going to be, it's not going to be mastered because they want 300 words. Or if there's 3 questions and you only answer 2 of the 3 questions within those 300 words, it's going to be sent back. So they're not being petty. You have to pay attention.
Right.
Okay. I just like to reiterate that Dr. Henry's coaching tips. I'm a recent student. I've only been in for a couple of months, and her coaching tips are a lifesaver. And I do mean an absolute lifesaver. Even though it's there for you already and it's explained to you by the university, everything is there. She can use the same terminology because you've met her and you know her and you talk with her. You feel like you're reading it and you're hearing it from someone that. So it transcends completely different.
Oh, I love that. Great. Well, do we have one more question? All right. Okay, we got Kelly and April. We'll go with April first and then Kelly. April, yeah.
You go first. How did you stay focused? I mean, 12 hours. I work a computer 8 hours a day, and then afterwards trying to do homework at night. My brain is just shot.
So it was kind of like working from home.
Okay.
I get my coffee, my breakfast. My kids are older, so they were, they know when I'm on the computer, it's, if family came over, I'd take a break. But I had my little chair, I'd turn around and talk to them a little bit and go, okay, hold on. And then I'd go back to what I was doing. They knew my goal. They knew what I was trying to do. So sometimes, the kids, they would pull the chair up and sit and watch, see what I'm doing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But when I felt like I needed a break, I would walk away.
Y'all, that's why I'm being honest. She's not comparable. She's a superhuman. I'm sorry. Okay, that's why I had other people here. And Kelly asking her questions, and Kelly done completed a bunch of projects. So listen. We
it's just gonna be a time us putting her forward. They're gonna be like, hold on, I gotta be working 12 hours to do this. Okay,
That was
April.
just something I wanted to do.
No,
so.
it's wonderful. We love it.
Hi, totally congratulations. I was obviously running late. I should have anticipated, you know, the traffic is madness. But anyway, I was feeling discouraged, like, I'm not gonna go, oh my God, I'm so late. But I'm like, I gotta go, I gotta see the first person, and, you know, I congratulated. But what I wanted to know too was, so I just want a clarification. So you did like basically 12 hours a day in studying?
A day.
Okay. And do you feel that your going to school for LPN kind of helped you with that? Because I know that's kind of a condensed, quick program as well.
It kind of reminded me of that.
Okay.
I did a lot of studying. There were some late nights studying for the board exam, the LPN, you know, hours. So I was used to it. And I like being in front of the computer. So it's my thing, you know. I also like to write. So that's my thing also. So it kind of worked out for me.
Don't
You
get
know,
discouraged,
a
Romero.
lot.
It's gonna be okay. He said, help me. Don't get discouraged. It's ours was late nights on the computer, and his head went like this.
But then I knew if I did it that way, I'd be done quick. This is only temporary.
Yeah.
So that's how you got to look at it, you know.
So one more thing, so as far as like, so like I said with the LPN, like I was gonna go for that too, and I was just like intimidated. I'm older. I'm like, oh my God, my brain is not gonna retain all this information. So do you feel that even though you went kind of exceptionally fast through the program, do you feel like you were able to retain the information as well?
I know exactly. Like we could go over this right now. I could tell you everything about my papers that I wrote. You know, just with that time, you know, I was able to put that in my head because, you know, I would focus on, you know, one paper all that time. It was in my head, so I knew. And actually, a lot of the papers previous also assisted me with some in the, you know, in the later on in the term, because I was like, hey, I know about that. Then I pulled my other stuff out. There it is.
Dr. Henry wanted to add
I just
something.
wanted to ease everyone's mind.
Yes, yes.
So our average is one project a week. And
Yes.
if you work on that one project, it'll probably from start to finish, it might take you about maybe 2.5 hours to complete just that one. And remember, it's your first draft. So you're giving it your all, you're submitting it. Then 2 days later, you might get some feedback, and you make revisions, and you submit it. So you have that whole week. That's our goal. It's 16 weeks, and so of those 18 weeks, and so of those times, we're saying one a week. So the stretch goal, yes, is to, you know, like Kelly, 18. You know, she get one every single week. Sometimes it was more, but for everyone else, like our goal is usually around 12. Like if you can at least get to that 12, then that's a really good goal to have because you're still getting 12 credits for that term, which is what you'll typically get at a traditional college.
If you're full-time.
If you're full-time, you'll get those 12 credits. But yeah, she was the exception, but one a week, that's our goal. If you're not doing the one a week, that's when I'm on you, like, okay, it's been about a week since you turned in one, like, what's going on? But if you're on that pace of one a week, then you're good to be successful.
And though she's an exception, she's still an important proof point.
Yeah.
Because if you want to get your degree in a year, because people say, well, how can I get it fast? You have to work hard and put in the hours in a shorter period of time in order to get it done faster. If not, just like in orientation, we tell you if you do 10 projects a term, then that means you're going to have your AA in 2 years. If you do 20 projects a term, you're going to have it in 1 year. So we set out different. If you do 16 projects, you can get it in 4 terms. So it's all just based on your pace and how you want to do it and what you say you want to do. We can't magically make it happen for you, but when you set that goal, we work with you and we can show you a plan of how you can get to that. So you are an exception, you're an exemplar, but you are an example of hard work. You are an example of determination. So those 10 that she got done, it wasn't because she wasn't working hard and it was easy and it was magical. In between the term break,
May was up, she couldn't even submit anything because there's a break between the October term before you can start submitting. During those 2 weeks, she didn't take a break. She worked on those projects for 2 weeks in between. So when the portal opened up, she submitted them because she had been working already. So make no mistake, this woman worked her behind off. You're an exemplar, but your tools are things that anyone can use and put into place, even if you want to go at a different pace.
Right.
So let's give it up for Talisha.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. And so Talisha is actually going to walk across the stage. Hopefully she chooses to go to New Hampshire next spring is when she will walk across the stage and we will be cheering her on.
I'm ready.
She walks across that stage.
I got my cap and gown.
Yep. Tell them about that.
Well, it came in the mail and I put it on and I was sliding through the house in my socks.
Yes, well,
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Everybody, thank you so much for coming out tonight. We're just really happy to have you guys here to help celebrate our 1 year, our first graduate. Several of you have started your first term at this point. We've got some new October students. We've got some students who are getting ready to start in December. And so we'll be here for a few more minutes. Make you some carry-out plates or ask any questions of anyone else who's still lingering around. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you to our team, because I could not do any of this work without you guys. And that's it for the night. Thank you. All y'all that was, everybody that was being all shy. This you can't take it all home. I made myself a plate too.
Oh, yes. We did agree in the spring.
Here you go. So whatever issue we have, we'll just rectify it on the back end.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
And then going forward, can we just use it?
Yep. Yep, we can just do that. So we need to make one. I'll get that. I'll get that assignment to Emily. Thank you. It's okay, it's not your fault. You're okay. No, we appreciate it. No, I know, but it's not your fault. Okay, thank you.
And now I feel like Miss Billy said, but I'm finding her, like, it really is all about finding her. You were thinking about